welcome back to another day at BGCTV. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Kelly. This week is all about different careers, and today we'll be highlighting people who help the community.
There are some community helpers you think of often, like police and firefighters.
But there are also a lot of community helpers that work behind the scenes, like custodians and mail carriers.
Let's start by talking about some of the important community helpers and what they do.
A police officer is someone you've definitely heard of before, right? They're very important because they help keep our community safe.
Very true. Another helper that keeps us safe is firefighters. They help fight fires, but they also help rescue people who are in dangerous situations.
Speaking of helping people in dangerous situations, nurses and doctors are important community helpers too. Without them, we would be in big trouble.
Good point. Another type of community helper that we often forget about is custodians and sanitation workers. They help keep our community clean, which is extra important these days.
I'll say. Well, we could talk about different types of community helpers all day, but I think it's time to actually talk to one.
Let's go to Joe, who is interviewing a community helper right now.
Today, we are interviewing an important member of our community. Welcome, Adrian Andrews.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me to join you today.
Thank you for being here with us. Today we're going to talk about careers that serve our community. I understand that you have done a lot of work toward community building. You currently work at Weber State, correct? Can you share with our audience what you do there?
Absolutely. I do work at Weber State University, which I love, and today is actually one of my 2 work anniversaries. I've been working in diversity and higher education specifically for the last 7 years, but at Weber State for 15 and a half years. While at the university, I'm the Assistant Vice President for Diversity and Chief Diversity Officer. And that means I work across the entire institution and in the community to try and figure out ways to make sure people are included, supported, encouraged, and have places to learn and grow together.
That's a lot of tasks you have there, Adrian. I also heard that you are the newest board member for our local Boys and Girls Club organization. Thanks for joining our team. What do you do as a board member?
Well, they're recognizing that I'm new to the board and I'm learning some of the things that I do. But one of the most important things I do as a new member is elevate the message of Boys and Girls Clubs and help find folks who want to support our efforts, which include inspiring and enabling all young people, especially those who need it most, to realize their full potential as productive, responsible, and caring citizens. And that means that I get to help fundraise. It means I get to help with events and programming. And because of my unique background and skills, I get to work with the Boys and Girls Club team on making sure that we are culturally competent and able to engage our community members and support them in the ways that feel best for them.
That is a lot of awesome work you did there, Adrian. What advice do you have for kids that would like to get involved in helping their communities?
I think that you're doing a great job, Joe, in modeling that behavior, which is getting involved. And that could mean joining your local Boys and Girls Club. It could mean that you volunteer to do activities in your community or to serve others in the community. But the first thing it means is that you recognize that whoever you are, wherever you are, you have value and you bring that value wherever you go. And you are a person who's going to change our world. I'm counting on it. And so one of the things that I would say you should do is reach out to your friendship networks and find out, what are people interested in? Do you like to garden? Maybe you can help with somebody's yard, somebody who needs a little bit of support or assistance. Or maybe you like sports. Maybe you could help be a coach for a youth team. And you might say, hey, I am a youth. I'm a young person. But there's always somebody younger than you that can use your support, as well as people who are older than you that can use your support as well.
Yeah, that's a great message, Adrian. I think a lot of people forget about that and think that their likes and hobbies can't really help others around them. Well, thank you, Adrian, for taking your time and to talk with us today. We sure appreciate you. Now, back to the newsroom.
Hi, everyone. We're back to talk more about people who serve the community.
Speaking of which, I think my DoorDash is here. Yeah. Hi, are you here? Yeah, come on into the newsroom. Yes, thank you.
Well, gee, did you order me anything, Kelly?
Sorry. You can have a bite of my burrito.
I'm just kidding.
Wait. We're actually talking about people who help out others on today's show. Do you mind staying for an interview?
Yes, we
Sure,
could.
why not?
We could taco about your job.
Sure.
What's your name?
My name is Allie.
Well, Allie, some of our viewers might not know what DoorDash is. Can you tell them what you do?
I deliver food to people.
That's pretty nice of you.
Well, I get paid to do it, you know.
Do you like being a DoorDash driver?
It's an easy gig and all. I do get lost sometimes, so I'm just a kid.
I would definitely get lost, even as an adult. I'm glad you found our newsroom, though.
Thanks for chatting with us today, Allie. We appreciate everything you're doing to help keep our community happy.
Sure.
We'll be right back after this.
There are many different things that you need help with during the day, but there isn't always someone around to help. And in those times of need, you need Call a Helper. Call a Helper locates a local community helper instantly and provides you with a phone number for you to call. You just open up the app on your phone and they'll send you a number. Then you'll just type it in and call them. It's that simple. The helper will come to you. Now, download Call a Helper from the App Store today.
Hi, welcome back. We're here with Ricky. He's with the County Auditor's Office. And many of you probably don't know what that means, so we're going to let Ricky explain what his job is and what he does there.
Hi, I'm Ricky. I'm with the Auditor's Office, and it's also the Clerk's Office as well. And so we do a bunch of different things. One of the biggest things that we do from the clerk side is we run the elections. So anytime your parents go and vote for president or governor or school board, any of those positions, that comes into my office, and we process those ballots and make sure that the votes are counted properly. That's what the clerk's office does. On the auditor's side, we do a bunch of different things. One of them is because we get taxpayer dollars, we have to be careful and make sure that we spend those right. And so we have rules that everybody in the government has to follow when they want to buy something. We want to make sure that we get the best price and that we're spending it properly. And my office helps do that through the purchasing department and things like that. So they have processes that we have to follow to make sure we're spending the money right. Another thing that we do is we do all of the financial reporting for the county. The financial report is this big honking document. It's like 300 pages long, but it tells people how we spent our money, how we received our money, and it gives an accountability so that anybody can take a look and say, oh, I want to know how much you spent on the ice sheet or how much you spent on elections. And you can go through and look through this document. Some people use that just because they're interested, but companies that might want to, say a bank wants to lend us money, they would really look closely to make sure that we're being careful with our dollars. We also issue passports at our office, and we issue marriage licenses. So if your parents or you later want to get married, you would come into the county clerk's office and we give you your marriage license. We also keep the records of the county and do audits to make sure that everybody's spending their money properly and that there's no fraud or stealing. That's pretty much what we do.
Okay, so I keep hearing a lot about money. Do you keep all your money in piggy banks?
Well, we keep our money in virtual piggy banks, let's say that. So we have bank accounts that our treasurer is in charge of, so I don't have access to that. And that's a good control because he controls the actual money with the banks, and I control the disbursement of the money through the approval process and things like that. And that just makes sure that he can't steal all the money and I can't steal all the money. It helps protect that.
So can you share with the kids what types of things do you spend that money on?
Oh, yes. The biggest thing that we spend money on, the two main categories, first off is public safety. That means the running of our jail, helping to ensure that those who are incarcerated in the jail, it's safe and they can't get out, and that the workers are safe. And as well as law enforcement. So the police, the sheriff's trucks and cars that are on the road, those sheriffs help protect you when you're out and about and in your homes. That's a big chunk of our spending. The other thing is on public roads and infrastructure. So when you're driving out west in Weber County or up in the valley, that's not in a city, the county maintains those roads. We plow them in the winter. We make sure that there aren't huge potholes, that any damage or anything that happens to the road, we fix that, just to make sure that when you drive, it's safe.
That's good. How long have you been with the office?
I was elected in 2010, so I've been there just about 10 years.
Oh, he said he was elected. What does that mean?
It means that I'm a little bit crazy. It's hard to run for office. And when you're an elected official, what you have to do is you have to declare, I want to run for office. And then you talk to the people. You go out and knock on doors, and you go to meetings, and you tell them why you feel that you're the best candidate to be selected. It's kind of like a class officer at school. But it's a lot more people. We have 110,000 voters in Weber County. And so my goal as an elected official when I'm on the ballot is I have to reach all of them and try to tell them what's important to me and why I think they should vote for me. And I have an opponent that would do the same thing. And then the voters can decide who they feel should represent them.
Okay, so what you're telling us is instead of going for a job interview, you had to run a campaign.
That's right. See, it's kind of like a 10-month job interview where you're constantly talking, and it's a lot of different people and organizations, and it's stressful and hard, but very enjoyable.
Do you have any advice for our club kids?
Yes, my advice is study hard, because it always pays off when you study hard, and then don't always think that you're right. Consider the fact that you might be wrong and that you could learn more. I used to think that I was always right, and after being elected, I realized, wow, not even close. And the more I listen to others, the more I consider their opinions and think, I might be wrong on this. Let me see and learn. It makes all the difference, and it makes you a better person.
I think that's great advice. Well, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, you
we
bet,
appreciate
Kate.
you having taken the time.
Great, thank you.
Hi guys, we're back to talk about how you can become a community helper. Elizabeth, want to tell us about the first one?
Yes. The first one we are going to talk about is a police officer. In order to become a police officer, you have to be at least 21 years old. You need 2 years of college education, and then you need to attend the academy. Or if you complete the academy out of high school, you can become a patrol officer. It isn't a long process, but it is very important for us.
Ooh, I want to talk about the next one. The next one is a firefighter. You need to be 18 years old, a high school graduate, and you must have a special certification. It's a pretty tough job, but it's also a super important one. Elizabeth, you've got the next one, right?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I'm going to talk about becoming a nurse. Becoming a nurse requires quite a bit of schooling and also the ability to pass a special exam. And then you get a state license and you are able to start working. If it is something you are interested in, it takes a lot of hard work, but it definitely pays off.
The last one we're going to talk about is becoming a doctor. Becoming a doctor is a lot of schooling. It's about 8 years of college and about 4 years of training. But doctors are so incredible. I know I love doctors because they help me when I'm sick, and that is awesome.
There are so many more careers, but we don't want to bore you, so we're just going to go to Kaylee for her wellness tip. We'll be back in a bit.
Hey guys, thanks for coming back to hear more about being mindful. I hope you practiced really paying attention to everything that goes on around you. Today, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to be mindful. Yeah, I may have told you what it is, but here are some examples of how to actually be it. Be mindful. When you feel overwhelmed, stop for a moment, take a few deep breaths, and exhale slowly. Name the emotion you are experiencing. Focus on your breath for 5 breaths. See where you can feel your breath most easily, your stomach, your chest, or your nose. Control your breathing for a short while. Do deep belly breathing for 5 breaths. Put your hands down on your belly and feel how it expands as you breathe in and how it goes back down when you breathe out. Multiple short mindful moments per day trains your brain to become more mindful. even when you don't try to be mindful. In other words, the more you train, the easier it will be to be mindful when you're actually in a stressful situation. Remember our blast off breathing because that will help you be more mindful. Well, that is all I have for today, but thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to smile. Bye.
I want you, kids, to help out around your communities. A community is a group of people who share something in common. You might be part of many communities, like your school, neighborhood, or church. Your communities need your help to stay clean and safe. There are many things that you can do to be kid helpers. Come along with me and I will show you how you can be a helper. Let's start with your neighborhood. You can help your neighborhood by keeping your sidewalks clean and not leaving any trash around. You can help your neighbors out with little things like helping them pull weeds from their yard. Now let's move on to the next place where you can really have an impact. I'm talking about your school. You can really help a lot around your school. Ask your teachers. They always need help with something, like collecting the recycling bins or helping to clean stuff around the classroom. You can also help when you're out at recess, like making sure that all the toys get put back where they belong. Now we've talked about how you can help these small communities, but did you ever think of your whole town as one big community? That's a big thought, but it is true. Your town is a community and there are a lot more that you can do for it than you might think. You have a lot of options like joining the Plaking Club and picking up trash while you are out on a walk or riding your bike. Or make handmade cards for kids who are in the hospital. By volunteering, you really get to know your town and you can have some fun while you're at it. Those are just a few ways that you kids can be helpers in your communities. If you had the chance to help your community, let us know. Leave a comment in the box down below and I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Hello everyone, it's me, Kelly, here at Newbridge School. I'm here to interview Mr. Jeffrey Barker, who's the head custodian here at Newbridge. Mr. Barker, can you tell us a little bit about what you do here at Newbridge?
Yeah, so most of the time I am taking care of the building. As a custodian, I'm over both the grounds of the school and also the building inside, outside. And so I fix things that break, I clean things a lot of time during the day. Lunch is a big part of my day, so I help supervise and clean the cafeteria. During and after lunch, I'm sweeping and mopping floors. And I'm here to make sure everything is going smoothly and also to take care of any security issues we might have too.
Hopefully we don't have a lot of those. Can you tell us how you became a custodian?
I became a custodian about 5 years ago. I was still attending Weber State, and so I needed to work in the evenings, and this was a great job opportunity, and it helped pay for schooling and some of my other things I like to do.
Awesome. You mentioned Weber State. Can you tell us about what you're going to school for?
Yeah, so I graduated in December 2018 with a bachelor's degree in history, but I'm also attending Weber State right now to earn my teaching degree.
Lucky you. Being a teacher is so great. What do you like to do in the free time?
On my free time, I spend like Thursday nights, I play softball. I'm on a men's slow pitch team. And then I also play with a few friends who play bagpipes. And so I do that weekly at least. And then sometimes we're in parades or other events as well.
Should have had him play bagpipes for us. Awesome. Well, I have one last question for you. What advice do you have for kids that maybe want to stay clean at school or just how they can make your job easier?
A big part of it is just being a responsible citizen, whether we're at the school or just out in your everyday life. If you see garbage on the ground or on the sidewalk, it is helpful if you pick it up and throw it away. Or if you're doing a project and you make a mess, just be proactive and clean it up. If there's ever a mess that's too big for you to handle or might be a little dangerous, then just ask and talk to an adult, and then they can let me know, and I'm more than happy to clean it up and take care of it.
Awesome. Seems easy enough. Well, Jefferson, thank you for doing the interview with us today.
You're welcome.
Back to the studio.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for learning all about community helpers with us.
Be sure to check out the links for exercise with Kaylee and to try photography with Carolina.
And leave a comment down below if there was something you enjoyed from today's episode.
We will see you guys tomorrow.
Bye!